Om. 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 Sai Ishwaraya Vidmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. Om Sai Ishwaraya Vidmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. Om Sai Ishwaraya Vidmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. Om. Offering my humble pranams at the lotus feet of our dear Mother Sai, who ever since COVID started, gave us the opportunity to constantly contemplate on Him, because He is the one holding us. He is the one who is helping and guiding us to tide over each week. And what started off as a Sai COVID Satsangh is now called Sai Govind Satsangh. And we had someone last week who beautifully explained the importance of Govind, Sai Govind, and how Satsang on Sai Govind makes a difference in our lives. And that speaker is related to our speaker for today, who, as I call all his students, his Ratnas. We have yet another chosen one, because every student does not get admission, is chosen to study in the Sathya Sai institution. And our speaker today is Brother Venkatesh Krishnamoorthy, who hails from Thrissur, Kerala, and currently based in Chennai, who had the good fortune of being a student in the Sathya Sai Higher Secondary School, and then continuing at the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, Brindavan campus, passing out in 2002. Being a student is one blessing. Being a singer who gets to sing in the Mandir means years of previous janmas of punya and prayer done. He is blessed to be a Mandir singer and has been part of the Sundaram Bhajan group as well, singing in several Sundaram and A Bridge Across Time Bhajan record series. He is currently working as a manager in Capgemini in Chennai. But more than that, all I can say is he's a person with many facets. Some that I know of is that he can bring what he sees to life through his paintings, taking after his father, who is a wonderful painter, I believe. He is a good orator. He has a good sense of humor, which I think is a facet many of us need in our lives to just get over mundane days. But most importantly, if I were to put one attribute that differentiates him from the rest, would be the fact that he is a student of the Sri Sathya Sai institution. Because to be that, as I said, requires many janmas of punya, penance, to be selected. And being there when the Lord walked through the sands of Brindavan, here is Brother Venkatesh sharing his learnings at the lotus feet of our beloved Lord, Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Welcome and Sai Ram, Brother Venkat.
Sai Ram, brother. Sai Ram, one and all. It's indeed a great pleasure to be here to share. I would say it's like going back to history and revisiting certain things which we have seen in our lives, and probably in that Sai era where we were fortunate to be part of, to firstly placing my humble salutations at the lotus feet of our beloved Mother Sai. I pray that Swami speaks through me and helps me convey his messages. So I'm sure everybody, due to COVID or even before that, we would be missing visiting Prashanthi Nilayam or Puttaparthi or his physical presence. At some point in time, we would have seen that. And I'm sure, yes, even me being a student, yes, we have got that proximity at one point in time, and then we see that no, we are away from that, and we are not able to go to Puttaparthi as we used to be. We are not able to sit in those coveted places which were there. So with these thoughts, when I was asked to speak, so the first thing which I thought was, what is that I have or I am blessed with that I can speak about? So then I thought about three things, or these three words which Swami at times used to tell. That is, it is not, as brother put it, it is not that anybody can come and stay in Puttaparthi or have my darshan. Swami used to tell that I need to will for that to happen. It does not happen without his sankalpa. And so when I was thinking this, there was one, not a bhajan actually, but a song or a kavali which we would have heard umpteen number of times at Puttaparthi. So there are few lines in that which made me think what I should speak today. It goes like this. For those who know, pardon me, I would not be able to reach to the heights of the original singer. मोहब्बत की कमी दिल में अगर एहसास होता है, जरा झांको तो पाओगे साई पास होता है। ओ करिश्मा ये उसी का है कि दुनिया खूबसूरत लगती है, वरना आदमी को आदमी क्या राज होता है। So this is a very famous kavali which we would have heard at Puttaparthi, which starts as Sai bin raha na jaye. I cannot live without Sai. So the message of how to live with Sai and to live at times when the physical presence is not there is told in these first two lines. That is, मोहब्बत की कमी दिल में अगर एहसास होता है, or you feel that there is no love around me, there is no Swami's presence around me, what do I do? The simplest answer which Swami himself has given, that is, Zara jhanko. Now where do you see? Look inwards, look inside you. You see the Sai in you. You realize that you and Sai are one. So that is where you see the love. So when I thought about these lines, I just thought about those three lines. That is, count your blessings. Many people think that, okay, Swami did not give me a chain, Swami did not give me a ring. I mean, popularly in the student terms, it's known as Grand Slam. They call it as, say, if you get a chain, okay, fine, probably next is a ring, and after that a bracelet, and then might be something else. So that comes as a Grand Slam. So if you're not part of that Grand Slam list, people think, oh, Swami didn't give me this, Swami didn't give me an interview. But most importantly, Swami has taken you to his fold. Swami has given you that darshan, sparshan and sambhashan. That itself is a blessing. So once Swami casually he was telling, already the hall is very full. Previously, it was say half of this. Now I see that the hall is full. And then he was suddenly his face changed. Then he said, "Do you know there are so many people who do penance for years together? They are just waiting for my command to come and see me." And Swami said, just if I say yes, and if I give that sankalpa of them coming and seeing me, you people cannot even sit here. So that is the sort of crowd which will come from the Himalayas and all over the world, and you will see me like a matchstick. Then Swami said, you should realize this particular thing. That is how blessed you are. Then Swami said, count your blessings. Swami said this in Telugu, but I'm just giving the translation of that. So count your blessings. So when I look back, I'll take you to 1997 when I was doing my 10th standard in Thrissur, Kerala. So around the month of March, there was this question, what next? And my father, being the sort of artist he was, he never used to keep his financial goals as that I need to reach so and so point, etc. So he was finding it a bit tough to mobilize funds for the probably the next year and 11th and 12th and further education and all these things. Probably he would have prayed hard. So suddenly a known family of us, they asked, how about your studying in Puttaparthi? So that question was broken into many parts for me. I mean, first of all, okay, studying what, where, and now how do I go, what do I do? So then they told me Puttaparthi. Puttaparthi is a place where you get free education, and say Sai Baba is there, you will be disciplined and all these things. And I was like, okay, let's see. But I kept on pushing it. I didn't give a yes or a no or anything for that. Probably my father, he wanted me to go. But then there was one aspect which was told to me. They told me there are at least 50,000 or 5 lakh applications which will be sent to Puttaparthi, which will be filtered, and out of that around say 5,000 people might get or 500 people might get a call letter to attend the exam, and after the exam it is hardly around 100 or 150 people who will get a call for the interview, and out of that around 50 people or 60 people are selected. So this literally got me into a mode where, yeah, this sounds interesting, a bit challenging, so why not give it a shot? So then I applied, and I completely forgot about it. Nothing was going in my head. And then one fine day, I got a letter telling that, okay, fine, you need to come to Puttaparthi for the written test. And then I asked my brother who spoke last week, so he had also applied. Then his elder brother was already there in the university, so he probably knew what needs to be done. So he guided us, telling that, okay, study this particular book and all these things. So I almost read that book like some storybook, because I was not very serious about that I need to get inside the college and all these things. Then the day came that we need to go to Puttaparthi. We came to Bangalore, and from Bangalore we were traveling by bus. So probably that was one of those first times where I was traveling out of Kerala and seeing probably what life outside was. And when we came to Puttaparthi, they told me, this is a hospital, and I was seeing a palatial building, and they told everything is free out here. I was like, come on, everything is free? Okay. Then I got the next shock. They showed me the airport. We have an airport. I was like, what on earth I am seeing now? An airport, a hospital which gives free services. And then came a part which is very close to my heart. I saw Hanuman on top of the hill, and I like Hanuman from my initial years itself. I was like, oh, this is a beautiful Hanuman. So then this thing was, now how do I go and see how tall this Hanuman is? Then we entered the ashram, we stayed there, and we were told, okay, and the next day is the exam and all these things. So everybody whom we were meeting, they were telling Sai Ram. And I was like wondering, what are they trying to tell me? Then I was like, okay, Sairam. I didn't know what it meant or anything like that. And then we were preparing for the test. So then by that time, elder brother, my elder cousin brother was there. He came down and then he was telling all the best. This is very easy. That, but I was like, okay. Nothing was really striking me at that time. Then we finished the entrance test. So the results came, and we were selected for the next round. So that morning we went for bhajans inside Kulwant Hall. So that was the first time I was entering Kulwant Hall, and I was listening to the bhajans. Yes, I was inclined towards music, but I never knew what bhajans were. Not even a single bhajan. So sitting there, I listened to the bhajans, and one bhajan which struck me at that time was Jai Guru Omkara on that day. So I felt, this is a nice bhajan. Okay, it goes nice. Jai Guru Omkara, Jai Jai Sadguru Omkara. Okay, fine. It looks good. So we went back to the room, and when I was asking my brother, then like what questions should I prepare for? Then he said, uh, yeah, they might ask about Bala Vikas. Then I asked him, what is Bala Vikas? Well, I was not a Bala Vikas student. Then he said, this is Bala Vikas. You're not a Bala Vikas student, is it? I was like, no, I'm not. Then I told, okay, tell me at least something which I can speak about there. Then he told me one thing, what probably Swami had told about what a good human being should be all about. So it was three qualities, that is, head of Shankara, heart of Buddha, and hands of Janaka. So to get this thing inside my head, it took a lot of time. I used to confuse. I used to tell head of Buddha, hands of Shankara, and all these things. Then he told me what it was. So I slowly mugged it up. Okay, now if this question comes, I'm going to score. Then another thing was this bhajan, Jai Guru Omkara. So I don't know. For some reason, I kept on singing this bhajan. Then the interview day came. We went inside the school. What they asked me was, okay, so you've scored these marks, or this is what you are about. And then they asked me, okay, sing a bhajan. So I sang Jai Guru Omkara. And when I came out, I spoke to my brother, and then I was saying, how do they know that I can sing a bhajan? Absolutely no answer. Then they asked me, like, what else did they ask you? I told nothing. They just asked me to sing a bhajan. I sang a bhajan. I came out. So then I started thinking, what is going on actually? They didn't ask me any questions on the subject matter, and then I thought, okay, fine. Probably something which I would have written in my CV at that time. Probably they would have asked out of it some extracurricular activities and all these things. Obviously you cannot ask somebody sitting there in an interview to go paint a picture and come. So probably this was one question which they could have put in. With this thought, I came back, and then we went. So I hadn't seen Swami till then. So when we were that morning, when we were preparing for this interview, I was the only person in the room, and I was reading some particular material about Swami's sayings and all these things. And all of a sudden, when I was just turning back, suddenly I saw a flash. I could sense that there was an orange color somewhere, but next second nothing was there. So then I asked my brother, I just saw something like this, so what exactly is it? Then he said, probably, you were looking at some photo or all these things, so might be in your mind you would have thought about Swami. And I told him, I've not even seen Swami physically, so how do I even think? Then we left it. That's it. It was gone. Then the results came, and we got selected. So now I had a problem. I just actually wanted to get selected, not beyond that. Now I have to join. So I went back, I told my parents. Parents were happy. Now the problem was, I need to mobilize some funds to pay the initial hostel deposit and all these things. So that was not getting mobilized. And then suddenly one of my uncle who was in Chennai, so he sent a check with some amount, and with that money I landed in Puttaparthi. So the hostel life started, and it was so different from what I could have even imagined in my life. I mean, at home we speak Tamil, outside probably we speak something in Malayalam. Here, from the moment I wake up, I need to speak in English. I mean, even if somebody is going to wake me up, they will tell, Sai Ram, please wake up. We have Suprabhatam. And I was like wondering what is going on. I mean, where I have landed now. So after 2-3 days, I started feeling a bit homesick, and there were people who have studied from primary school and who are there continuing in their 11th, and these were the folks who are actually super comfortable there. They chit chat, go around, and others are newbies. And to add to all this confusion, there were 2-3 souls who became so homesick and they went back. And seeing these people, I was like, oh, so which means there is a certain way where if you project, you can go out. Now I started thinking in those lines. Now what do I do? But the problem was, if I go back home, I don't know how my parents would take it, or whether my further education would get affected. So lots of thoughts were going on. So all these thoughts came in, and the only way to let out was just go under the shower, sit, go sob a bit, come back. So with all these thoughts, then we started getting news that Swami is coming back to Puttaparthi. So I was like, okay, fine. Let's see how the life will be after Swami comes back. So we started learning some songs and all. I was like, song sounds good. It's all good. And the day Swami was coming back, I went and sat at a place where you would have seen the bell in Kulwant Hall. Just next to that, you have the gates. I was just sitting almost just in front of the gate. So when Swami's car entered, Swami just peeped like that out of the window, and he saw me, and I was like, okay. So I was like, he is Sai Baba. So that was the thought in my mind. Then every day we started coming for darshan, and I used to see Swami coming, Swami waving, and creating vibhuti and all these things. So then I started asking people, I mean, how exactly your life was, what is going on here, and things like. So I'll just pause here, and I'll just go back few years. So this is exactly not the spot where Swami came to our life. He had actually planned all these things. So my grandma had visited this uncle of ours, or her brother, in Chennai, at least 5 years or 4 years ahead of 1997. And in that trip, this uncle of mine had gifted 2 Sundaram audio cassettes. And he is an ardent devotee, so he told, see, you listen to this, there will be a lot of peace. So he gave these audio cassettes, and my grandma, she gave me these audio cassettes and told, if you want to listen. So I used to listen to all these songs, and just like that I played. And when I listened, there were few bhajans which were very catchy for me. One was Sri Krishnamoorthy, and the other one was Antaranga Sai, and I think Lambodara Jaya Gajanana. So I felt okay, nice. They've used a mix of good tabla and all these things. So I was slightly inclined to music at that time. So I was like, okay, it's good. And then I didn't know anything about Puttaparthi or Sai Baba or anything. For me, Sai Baba was possibly that person inside that header of that particular audio cassette, and not anything beyond that. And then my father got an opportunity to paint a huge backdrop for a Onam drama in Puttaparthi. So they had told him that, see, you paint the entire thing, but in case we need to change certain things, which probably Sai Baba might tell, we want you to be with us, so please come with us. So my father went. He was there, and when he came back, he told, when we were there, Swami came one day in Purnachandra Hall, and he had asked for certain changes in that. I changed it, and I also took a Pada Namaskar. So I was like, okay, fine. But the interesting part of that was, he got a book, Amar Chitra Katha sort of book, where there was a lot of things mentioned about Swami, like the tiger episode and Swami's Bhajan group, and all these things were there. So it was nice time reading all these things as a kid. And after that, yes, then it's all archived. Then now back to the days when Swami came back to Puttaparthi. So I asked one day to one of my roommate um some experiences. So I asked him, like, does Swami actually heal? I mean, you have a problem, Swami actually, does he provide a solution? Does he sort out this issue? Then he said, of course. I mean, he gave me a few examples and told, yeah, this has happened, this has happened, this has happened. I was like, oh, okay. So now the thought was, I thought, I will tell Swami a problem. If he is able to solve that, then I'll stay put in Puttaparthi. So I had an issue, a medical issue, where a normal human being, if my memory is right, has 206 bones. I have only 205.5 bones. In my neck, there is a bone which is shorter, because of which I used to struggle. I used to get a very bad neck pain, and I used to struggle in my school days because of that. So the doctor had told, I mean, there is no cure as such. It is just that if you get pain, you need to take rest and have some medicines and things like that. So one day, I wanted to test it out. I went and sat in the first row, so that when Swami comes out of the interview room door, I'll be there somewhere. I mean, not exactly the 1.1 and things like that, but at least I can see that, okay, Swami is coming and I can ask Swami. So when Swami came, I immediately jumped, and Swami told, Kucho, sit. So I was like, now what do I do? I mean, I'm trying to ask you something and you're asking me to sit. Then again I got up. Then Swami asked, Amy, where are you from? I told, I'm from Thrissur, I'm from Kerala. He told, what do you want? Then I told, Swami, I have neck pain. Even before I could tell something else, Swami told, wear a necklace. Swami told this and Swami walked away. I felt, I mean, what is going on? He's making fun of me, sort of. That was the sort of thinking which I had. Then I sat and I was just looking like that. Immediately Swami turned. He took a U-turn, he came back, he stood in front of me. Then he told, get up. So I kneeled down. Swami created Vibhuti. He gave it to me. Again he was moving and somebody gave me a piece of paper. So my concentration was in putting this Vibhuti into the paper and seeing what exactly this Vibhuti is. Swami turned. Again he came back. He had a bit of Vibhuti in his hand. Swami applied it on my left neck. And then my thought process was, how did Swami know that it is exactly the left neck which has the problem? So I came back, I thought that whole night. Then I was seeing whether I'm getting a neck pain for few days. Nothing. So then slowly it started sinking in that, yes, I am in a place where this person is divine and he has actually got me there for something, and it is not like I have come there. So slowly these things started sinking in. Then I started enjoying life. So it took a while for me to understand what was going on around me. So then I started enjoying bhajans, and after say a year or something, I started wondering, I mean, I could at least tell 20 to 30 bhajans at that time. So just wondering, so what has happened. If you see a year back, I didn't even know one bhajan. So now here I was at least 20, 30 bhajans, and I started singing in the school bhajan group. And after this, for my 11th standard vacations, so when we were coming back, we were told, be very nice, because Swami is there. Swami will know what you're doing. So I asked, how does Swami know? Then this brother of mine, he gave me a wonderful experience. He said once in a similar vacation period, there were boys who had gone back to their home, and when they came back, Swami asked them, what did you do? So everybody told, no Swami, we were there at home, we were there with parents, it's all nice and all these things. Then there was this one boy who had actually gone for movies. and he was feeling a bit uncomfortable, or he was thinking that I can't tell Swami that okay, I went for a movie and things like that. But I mean, he was not a movie freak or something, but he didn't want to tell it. Then Swami was telling, you know, some boys, they went for movies and all. You know how the movie was? Swami started telling the entire story of the movie, and this, correct? That's all. This boy was flat there, and he understood that yes, Swami is there everywhere. So when I heard this story, I was sort of scared, and like, I mean, what do I do? So everything I do at home, probably then Swami is going to know. So what do I do? So I started attending bhajans and all these things. And one of our relative had passed away just before the vacations, and I think the 16th day after the demise, there was a bhajan session at their home. And me being a distant relative of theirs, I was called for the bhajans, and I started attending Samiti also. Till then, I didn't even know where the Samiti was. So I went for the bhajans. The bhajan was over. We got prasadam, and then that auntie, the daughter of that particular auntie, she came and told me, "My amma wants to speak to you. Just wait for some time." Then I thought, okay, probably she wants to give me some extra prasadam to take home. I just waited. Then they moved all the furniture which was there, and almost a seating area was created. Then they told, sit. Then I asked what exactly is happening. Then they told, my mother has certain questions. She wants to know how our father's demise was, and why Swami didn't do anything and things like. It was almost like a thunderbolt that hit me at that time. I was like, how can I convince somebody where I am a bacha there? I mean, I don't even know what is going on, and I have people who are double, triple my age sitting and asking me this question. I mean, if I would have probably been a great orator in Puttaparthi or Prashant Nilayam, I could have convinced them. So I remember this incident that Swami watches what you're doing. So then I started praying to Swami, because my prayer was I should not speak something which can hurt them, because they are actually coming out of a loss, and if I'm going to hurt them, that is going to crucify me my entire life. I started praying, Swami, please help me come out of this situation, or you speak something and ensure that this phase is over. Just prayed. After half an hour, they asked me some questions. I told them something. After half an hour, I could see that their faces had some sort of radiance. They were smiling. They looked normal. I came out, and then there was another person with me from that Samiti, and then I asked him, what I mean, we spoke for the last time. You told that, you told this. I was wondering, what did I tell? I didn't tell anything. The next day, somebody asked me, looks like you gave some satsang and all these things in that place. I didn't do anything. They asked me some question, I told something. So when I thought about it, I understood that Swami was actually saving me. Till date, I don't know what I spoke. Till date, I can't recollect what I spoke for that half an hour. Because I am sure it was Swami who was making me talk something to pacify them, and nothing more than that. So I sincerely believe that in certain situations when you are there, it is Swami who is actually putting you in that situation and making you an instrument to convey something to somebody. It is not the greatness of us people doing something there. So this again proved to me that yes, it's not only the Puttaparthi or say a Brindavan, Swami is there. Swami is there everywhere. I mean, he can work through any of us for that matter. So like this, time passed, and then we came to Brindavan. So by that time, I learned few bhajans, and we got selected to Brindavan. And in Brindavan, I think we joined, I think, couple of days early. And then Swami was there in Brindavan, bhajans were going on. So I was sitting there, coming back, all these things were going on. So one evening, I was told, come to the bhajan room. Then I had to ask people, I mean, where is this bhajan room? Is it somewhere in Ramesh Hall? Where is it? What exactly is happening? They told, this is a bhajan room. I came to the bhajan room. They told, sing a bhajan. So I sang a bhajan. And then the next day, I told, Swami has selected you to the bhajan group. I was wondering, I mean, where, what, how. Then they told, yesterday we had asked you for a photograph, right? So Swami has seen the photograph. We have told Swami like who you are, what you are, and Swami selected you. So I was under the impression that probably that's just a formality. Anybody who joins there probably they ask Swami and they just. But later I came to know that there were umpteen number of people who had waited for years to get a chance to sing in front of Swami. So I mean, I didn't probably realize the blessing which was showered on me at that time. And then again, that was a learning period. Even as a bhajan group member, it was not about you can sing whatever bhajans you want, or you can just go and sing at a pitch which you want and things like that. So there was practice sessions, and obviously when Swami is sitting there, they will see Swami's reactions also, like how Swami is reacting to bhajan. If something was not good, probably they'll tell, don't do this. Or so one on the job training which Swami gave me once was at times he gives that tap, that don't think that you are doing this. Swami will just tap and tell. So for that, one incident which comes to my mind is, I think probably in our second year or after that, one bhajan session, the bhajan planned was Satya Sanatana Nitya Niranjana. So for that bhajan, it has to start almost like Satya Sanatana Nitya Niranjana Bhakta Parayana Narayana. So the harmonium player was a new person, or he was there in Puttaparthi. He had come down to Brindavan for I think it was post our holidays, or the holidays had just started or something like that. So what he did was, instead of a pancham shruti, say for example, instead of one pancham, he kept it as one madhyam, which is 4. And obviously, when you're sitting there in front of Swami, you cannot tell him change it, or I mean that you don't have the time. It's seconds. That is, the other bhajan would have ended, and the next second you have to start. So he played, and he stopped at a shruti where I just took it. Satya Sanatana Nitya Niranjana Bhakta Parayana Narayana. Now imagine the third line is Govinda Govinda. It's so high, you can't sing. And the moment I realized that, I was drenched. And Swami, I mean, without any reaction, he's seated there. I just prayed that Swami, make me vanish from this place. Next second, you make me vanish from this place. I mean, even the people there, they didn't know what to do. And then Swami gives me this sort of one flash and tells me there is always a possibility that you can start the second line in the original Shruti. So then I told my brother who was sitting next to me, I told, try to get into that Shruti of the original Sa, and you get me that Govinda Govinda Narayana. So this happened again in seconds, and then he told me this particular Govinda. He told me Govinda Govinda Narayana, and I came back to the original. Then we started. I mean, we continued the bhajan in the supposed to be the original Shruti. This bhajan got over, and immediately when I was looking at Swami, Swami just saw like that and he smiled. So that gave me an indication that, I mean, why do you worry? I mean, I am there. I'll sort it out, sort of. Yes, it was a big problem, but Swami just gave that flash, telling that yes, you could do it. There were stalwarts who were sitting there. I mean, umpteen number of years behind them. They didn't dare to go change the Shruti or do anything. So that flash which Swami gave, till then it was blank. So this is one incident where Swami is telling, I mean, you don't worry, or you don't think that you are the doer. I'm there. I will do it for you. Another example which comes to my mind is in Puttaparthi Bhajan Hall. If you can recall the bhajans which used to happen inside the Bhajan Hall, Mandir. Uh, so we, when we were Brindavan students, there was a certain period in a year where uh, we would have our classes inside the school building. So our classes would be from the afternoon because I think it was birthday time. So morning bhajans we would get a chance to sing along with the other people inside the mandir, and so mics were not there. Those days there were no mics for morning bhajans. It is only for the evening bhajans you would have. So I used to feel, Swami, that is so partial. And it is the same Swami. So why do you have mics in the evening and not in the morning? So for that, Swami gave me an answer in his own sweet way. Uh, One day, there were Aradi brothers also for that morning session. So Mohan Rao sir used to coordinate the bhajans. And okay, I'll just take a minute to go to who Mohan Rao sir is. So I got introduced to Mohan Rao sir when I came for the interview itself, in my school interview. So we went to his home, and at his home I saw a pair of rubber slippers. Old, worn off, shaded color had literally gone off. Such a rubber slipper and flowers on that. So I asked, I mean, why he is keeping the slippers inside his home and he's putting flowers on that? What is going on? Then they told me that those are slippers used by Swami. Once upon a time, Swami had used those slippers and given to Mohan Rao sir. And one particular incident which they told me was, Mohan Rao sir probably started composing bhajans after Swami blessed him to compose. And in that session, he used to be extremely short-tempered person. Extremely means extremely short-tempered person. So then Swami asked Mohan Rao, why do you get agitated? Why do you get angry always? And Swami just put his thumb on the forehead of Mohan Rao sir. He just pressed it for some time, after which his temper came down. And it seems Swami told Mohan Rao sir what his previous janma was and all these things, and his temper came down. But still, he used to be a bit short-tempered inside the Mandir Bhajan. So imagine like how he would have been in his original form. So on this particular morning bhajan session, we were sitting there, and he will be like, "Hey Payya, inge va." Then he told me, "Second bhajan paad raha." I told, okay. Devi paad. So those days it was not Ganesh Guru Devi, it was Ganesh, and then they would say which deity. So it was Devi that day, and I told, okay, I'll sing Partishwari, Jagat Janani. I told, okay, Payya. Then he told, he asked me what Shruti. So mornings generally you will not be able to sing anything higher, but still I told 2. Then he told, Illa Payya. He told Aradi brothers, they want to sing a bhajan in the Shruti 3. So you sing in 3 so that the Shruti is same. I was like, how do I sing Partishwari in 3? I mean, there might be people who can sing, but at least I could not. So I was trying to convince him. Then he became angry and he told, if you don't want to sing, you go. Just go out. Then my thought was, I mean, God is giving you one chance. Why will I tell no? Then I tried convincing the harmonium player. I tried convincing a lot of people around there. Nothing was working. They told, just sing. Let's see what happens. Just sing. And that day, my seating position was just under the throne. I mean, if I open my eyes, I can see the tiger, which was there under Swami. So I was like fretting there, not knowing what to do. And then the next prayer started, that let Swami come after the second bhajan. And what Swami did, Swami almost, the 3 Omkarams happened and Swami was in. Then I started praying, Swami, do something where nothing goes wrong. Because for the people who know uh, bhajans, singing in the morning for Partishwari in 3 is not an easy job, because the line Vedakala, that line is very high. Narayan Karuna. So you might crack. Then I just thought, Swami, you got me here. You have got a person to coordinate the bhajan. You are making me sing. It is for you. I thought, you sing. I mean, you sing through me. I am not responsible for what happens after this. I sang the bhajan. It was a bit loud where I had to put a lot of force, but everything went on well. After the bhajan, Swami is looking at me like, yes, Swami smiled. That's all. And then I understood, I mean, why did I worry so much? Only when I think that I am the doer, that is where the problem is. If you think that it is Swami, yes, it will be taken care. And yeah, another incident which probably is connected with these things is, we used to have the convocation dramas. And convocation drama is supposed to be, for a Sai student, is supposed to be a big event. To get selected in the convocation drama is like something like an icing on the cake. I mean, if you have done that, then it's like, oh man, then you're in form with Swami. So my first, from 99 or 97, I had seen all these dramas. So I was in my third year at that time, UG third year. So we started getting news that this year there is no drama, but instead of drama, we are going to have a music program. And I thought, okay, very good. So which means probably we are an automatic choice, being in bhajan group. But next 2-3 days proved me wrong. Practice had started. Shaili sir used to go inside the interview room, come back, a lot of people going up and down, but we people were not called. And to tell you the background of like how many members were there in bhajan group, we were just 3 people. And that is another golden period which we enjoyed in Brindavan. When Swami came there to Brindavan, he made, I think, extra trips also that year, in our third year, 2001, 2002. So it was the brother who spoke to you last week, myself and another brother. So we used to be like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. So if there are 12 bhajans, you sing 4, and after the 4th chance we'll be almost like, Swami, enough for the day, please, if you can take Aarati. So we used to run out of bhajans. So I don't know how many people would have got that sort of a blessing where in Tamil they say romba inippu irundha thegattum, and we used to come to that level where daily using 4 bhajans or 3 bhajans. So we used to run short of bhajans, and we used to think, what do I mean, we would have prepared only for 3 bhajans. So if the 4th one comes, then it all works on signals. You'll have to tell Shruti is 1, Shruti is 7, or we'll ask what is the current Shruti. I'll try and find a bhajan of the same Shruti. I mean, all these things happen in split seconds. You'll be actually, in bhajan parlance they call it as run out. I mean, if you start and probably Swami gets up from the chair, then you run out. So you'll be like waiting, is Swami going to get up? No, Swami is not getting up, let me start. So that used to be the sort of tension which used to be there. So we have had that sort of run there in Brindavan. So I thought probably we people will be an automatic choice, which wasn't to be. And now our sort of students around us, they started asking us, what, you people are not there in the Kavali? What are you people doing? So then this started sort of weighing on us, like, I mean, how come we are not there? We have sung so many bhajans, and Swami, I mean, aren't you considering all these? Aren't you taking us? So next morning also we sang bhajans. So whenever we were singing bhajans, heart was heavy actually. I mean, you start thinking that, Swami, this is a golden opportunity. I mean, not every time you have a music program instead of a drama. So if we are not given a chance now, when we'll get it? So we started praying. I mean, obviously, we were putting a smiling face in front of others, and we were telling, yeah. I mean, we'll see. We were telling like, okay, Swami knows who's best, and Swami will decide. All these things went on, and after 2-3 days, our warden called us and told, you people join the practice. You're there. So I think, okay. I thought, okay, finally Swami has heard our prayers. And then there was another sir who was there in that planning thing. He told, do you know actually what happened? Swami asked today, where are those Kerala boys? Are they not there? Those Kerala boys, 2 boys? This is how Swami asked for us, and then we were added into that list. So I felt, yes, he has listened to our prayers. I mean, we think that probably that's why they say God's delays are not his denials. But Swami knows when to give you a chance, and this was one incident where he called us, and after that, those 14 or 15 days, literally golden period, wherein it's not only Swami telling us something, but we were probably with the stalwarts of bhajan singing in Puttaparthi at that time. You can, I mean, all Ravi Kumars and Srinivas Allus and all these people were part of the program. And imagine, like, you sit from 9 o'clock in the night or 8 o'clock in the night till 1 o'clock listening to some fantastic creations happening in front of your eyes. I mean, you cannot imagine. One of those creations, actually, when I look back today, is the first one. I think it was an already existing one, but they modified few things. One is, so why I am telling about this particular Qawwali also, I'll tell you. This Qawwali was written years ago, but even today, today's situation, when we see it, it has a lot of relevance. This particular Qawwali. I'll probably sing 2 or 3 lines of that to tell you what it is. O mere Sai, मुश्किल है जीना तेरे बिना, मुश्किल है जीना तेरे बिना, महबूब आलम ये दिल लगे ना तेरे बिना, तुझे सलाम ओ साई मेरे, सुनी लगे जिंदगी तेरे बिना. The ending of this Qawwali is ये दिल पे बीते जो रात दिन वो बात बताए कैसे हम, बात बताए कैसे हम, ना देखो अगर तुम, ना देखो अगर तुमने हमको याद किया, याद किया, प्यार भरे दिल से याद किया. So it goes like this, and then they say, one glance of yours, it brought back that energy levels in us, and we started thinking of you. So this Qawwali was written long ago, and Swami wanted this particular Qawwali. And so when this Qawwali practice was going on, we were hearing people like Ravi Kumar belting it out. I mean, literally creation happening in front of our eyes, and next day they will say, no, forget what happened yesterday, today we will see a new thing, because Swami told to change this. So Swami was there in every verse which was written there, every tune which was there. And one day we were called for a practice to institute, and Swami came. So that was the first session where just few of us, and Swami's, the entire auditorium is empty. Swami sitting in his chair, and hardly few of us teachers were there. And then Swami told, all you people are simply sitting like this and singing. This is not bhajan. Swami told it's Kavali. So then Swami showed us like ye dil pe beete jo raat. Swami showed this action and Swami told this is how you should be. And then Swami told you should be sitting on your knees. Swami literally showed us how to conduct ourselves during that Kavali, and Swami taught everything. Like Swami told, okay, this is how you should be looking, and you should be looking to each other and telling like what needs to be appreciated in certain lines. Like they used to, if a certain line is going on, they'll tell, wah, wah, wah. This is, so Swami used to tell all these expressions should come in, and that is how it went on. Then Swami called us for another practice session inside Purnachandra, wherein Swami is like, practice okay, you people sing, and then Swami is like, how are you? How is your voice? Is it okay? Swami is asking all these things, and Swami told, give a lot of dry fruits and all these things for people. They should have a lot of energy. Swami was literally on a feeding spree. We were sitting. I mean, instead of singing for a practice session, we were sitting and having dry fruits there inside Purnachandra. And then Swami told, okay, now time aindi for darshan, I'll go for darshan. He spoke to us so lovingly, all these things, and then he told, now devotees are waiting, you come slowly, you finish your food and then come, I'll go. So that is the sort of love which Swami showered on us. And one another incident which Swami taught, personally, which Swami taught was, if you have that discipline, it will give you results, definitely. So once I was seated in the 1.1 of the student portico. If you don't know what a 1.1 of a student portico is, it is exactly opposite to the interview room door. That is, if Swami is coming out, Swami will be first seeing this person. I mean, you are the cornermost person. Very coveted spot. Not every time people get it. One fine day I got it. So then I started planning. Okay, fine. Now I need to do this, do that. A lot of things. Swami calls for prasadam distribution. We should run, and then I started keeping my dress straight. And all that. Okay, fine. I'll go this way, that way. And I seeing who's probably next to me. Will that person be faster than me, or who can overtake? All these thoughts were there. But so I didn't even go out to have some water or anything. Just seated there. And Swami comes out, and Swami told, come. So before even I could realize what was happening, 4 boys already just jumped over my head and they just bent. I was seeing that my legs were actually numb, cramped. I couldn't even get up. I felt miserable. I started literally hitting on my legs to ensure that in case there is a second chance, I need to get it. Then I readied myself in another 1 or 2 minutes, and I was thinking, Swami, please come and call. Please come and call. Now I'm ready. Immediately, like a kid, Swami just opened the door. The Swami's head came out like that, and Swami told, come. One person come. I was charged up. I just got up. Then I realized that there is one more brother who has got up and who is coming with me. So Swami moved forward, and then Swami told, one person go back. This person was, I mean, he didn't even give me a hint of going back or anything. And I realized, okay, fine. Probably I didn't want to disobey. I started moving back. The next second, Swami told, stop. Swami told the other boy, go. And Swami called. So I went inside, and it was almost like the mother tiger and the cubs going behind inside the interview room. A small room it was. So the flooring was sort of, it's very clean, and you can see Swami's reflection on that. So I was able to see Swami, and then Swami's reflection of the robe. So we were going behind Swami. Then Swami told, okay, give this. So we gave all prasadam and all, and we went to keep back the vessels in front of the interview room. Then immediately Swami's door opened, and Swami asked, did you give everybody? And I told Swami, I give everybody. Then Swami asked, what about you? Have you taken prasad? And all others had taken. I hadn't taken. So I was in a dilemma whether to tell yes or no. If I tell a yes, probably then I don't have a chance to get a prasadam. If I tell no, I don't know how Swami will react. But then I thought it's better to speak the truth. And I told Swami, no, I didn't take. Then Swami told, come. So I went to Swami inside. Then Swami showed me another big vessel, and Swami told, take how many ever you want. I told, I just took one. Then Swami told, only one? I told Swami one. Then Swami told, okay. This was one of the episodes where Swami literally showed me, like, I mean, if you don't disobey or if you obey Swami, everything will be taken care. Another one short incident which I remember now is those days we used to sit in front of the Ganesha statue which was there, if you can recollect. So students used to almost sit on that dais area. So Swami came with some letters. Swami started waving it like this. So there was one coin which flew from that. So it came, it went round and round and round and round and round, and it just stopped in front of me. So I took the coin, I went to Swami and told him, keep it. Swami told, you keep it. I told, no Swami. I gave it, and Swami told, keep it. Then I told Swami, it's not mine. Then Swami told, sit. Then Swami saw that. He told, okay, you find out who has given this, go give it to them. So I went inside the ocean behind the Ganesh statue, and I started asking people, I mean, who has kept this coin? Swami is asking. Nobody replied. Now I was sort of getting a bit tense, like, I've told Swami, this is not my coin, I don't want it. Now if I go back, what will Swami tell? And already people next to me were telling, you just keep quiet and just keep the coin with you. Swami is giving you a coin, why do you tell no? Then I was like, no, I mean, if Swami wants to give it, Swami can give me in some other way. I mean, it's not from a letter which needs to come in. I told no. Then slowly there was one elderly person, he told, I have kept it, and he took it back. Then I came back and told Swami, I've given it back. Then Swami saw him, then Swami told, good. So then I thought, what made me tell that? Probably if I would have, beginning itself I would have told yes and I would have kept it, the conversation would have ended. So Swami probably gave me that thought so that the conversation go a bit far. So like this, the student days were pretty good. And then I became part of Sundaram Bhajan group. So in Sundaram Bhajan group, I slowly started getting chances to sing bhajans and all these things. And in 2007, we were told Swami is going to come to Chennai for Atirudra Mahayagna. So we started preparing some music programs. And I think Jan 19th was the day when Swami was supposed to arrive. And Jan 16th, or I think 16th, yeah, we were having a practice session. And those days in Chennai, I used to stay in a bachelor accommodation, and every session of food was outside. And the previous year, I actually had a very bad food poisoning, and I was unconscious for 2 days in the hospital. So after that, the doctor had told me, like, you should not get any food poisoning because it's fatal for your body. Don't have all these things. Then so Jan 16th we were sitting in a practice and I was feeling very uncomfortable. So I just told the bhajan leader that I'm not feeling okay. So is it okay if I leave? So I left. So I came to my accommodation, and I understood that it was a terrible food poisoning which had happened. I went to the doctor, and then the doctor told me, can you get admitted? I mean, you're not looking fine, can you get admitted? I told, nothing doing. I told, Swami is coming in another 4 days or 3 days, so I need to be fit by that time. You do whatever possible which you can get me fit by that time. He told, see, it's not magic, that cannot happen. He gave me some medicines. Then he told me, I would suggest you at least have an IV dose or all these. I told, nothing doing. I mean, no admission business. I will probably have the diet what you are telling. Then he told me, don't have anything which is acidic. So tamarind, avoid tamarind. Don't have spice. Probably be on liquid diet. Don't have anything which can cause gas in your stomach. I nodded because for me the target was Jan 19th, I have to be fit. Come what may. So I made sure that I have only probably say curd or buttermilk and all these things. So Jan 19th, even though I was not fit, I was probably 50% fit. I decided somehow just go to Sundaram, and then we were told we had to be early to Sundaram because I think a lot of traffic and all these things were expected. Come early to Sundaram. So I landed there around I think 7:30 or something. So then people asked me like how you are and all these things. But my thought process was I had to have some food because I was weak after all antibiotics and all. So then there is no way I can even go out and have outside food. So they told Prasadam counter is open. You can go have food. And I thought, okay, fine. I mean, Swami is going to come by say something like 11:30 or something. Now, if it get delays, then I have an issue because next 10 days we are supposed to be fit enough to be there for Atirudra Mahayagna. So I went there to the Prasadam counter, and you know what they offered me? They gave me tamarind rice. And now I was not in a position to reject it because there is no other option for food. And then I remembered what doctor had told. Don't have anything which is acidic. So don't have tamarind and all this. Then I thought, just think of Swami. Swami will take care. Had this. The next day we were supposed to report to the Yajnam site. There again we had to have breakfast. What I got was pongal, which I'm not supposed to have. So again for me the dose was have vibhuti, have the food, Swami will take care. Then after 2 days we were told Swami is giving darshan inside Sundaram. You be there for bhajans. But we were told come early. So I was still not fully fit all these days. So I landed in Sundaram early. But the problem was the after effect of all these medicines and the ailment which was there. My hunger knew no bounds at that time. I was sitting just outside the bhajan room and literally I was thinking, Swami, give me some food from somewhere. I mean, I'm starving. Suddenly one brother comes and he tells, did you have breakfast? And I told no. He told, come, breakfast is there inside, come. I was like, shall I call somebody? Shall I tell others? No, you come. So I went in that kitchen, another item which was there on the prohibited list for me, puri and sabzi was there. So I had whatever was there, puri and sabzi, okay. And I came back, then I met few other brothers who were there and I told them, if you're hungry, there is breakfast, go. And they went and they saw there was not even a speck of food there. Can you imagine? There was not even a speck of food inside that kitchen. Then they asked me, who told you there was food? There is nothing there. Then I told there was one brother who came and then I started searching. Now, who is this brother? I wanted to check with him whether food is available. And let me tell you, till date I have not found that brother. I didn't see that person till date inside the Sundaram campus or anywhere. I don't know from where he came or who he was, nothing. He just came, my prayer got answered. There is wanted food, yes, food is there for you. That's about it. So then we started singing bhajans. And so Swami used to, when the Ganesh bhajan starts, Swami used to come out, give darshan. So the bhajan used to go on. Swami used to come give darshan and then probably he'll sit for a bhajan or two. Then the arati used to take place and Swami used to go in. So I think 5 days, 6 days, all these things happened. And I started getting a feeling, I mean, why am I not getting a Ganesh bhajan? Everybody in the group was getting a Ganesh bhajan. Why am I not getting? Because I wanted a Ganesh bhajan so that probably then when Swami comes out, Swami will be looking like who's singing Ganesh bhajan or what is going. At least I thought that sort of a blessing I might get. So finally on a 6th day or 5th day I got the Ganesh bhajan. So then I told them I'll sing Mangala Dayaka. Mangaladayaka He Gananatha. And so the bhajan session started, Omkarams got completed, bhajan started. The first speed was almost getting over, and my eyes were constantly looking at that door. Is it opening? Is it opening? That door did not open till the bhajan got over. The second bhajan started and Swami came out. I mean, I felt miserable. I was like, all these days, Swami came during the first bhajan, and I was asking Swami, why did you do it to me? I mean, I hardly got a chance to sing a Ganesh bhajan, and you couldn't come out for me. So I felt miserable as I seated there, and Swami came. Swami stared at me. Swami just stared at me really badly, and that is what shook me up. And I was like, did I sing something wrong or something has happened where Swami didn't come out, or I started getting nervous. Then I sang one more bhajan that day, which was a Sarvadharma bhajan, and that time Swami was seated. Swami kept on staring at me. I felt something miserably has gone wrong. And after the bhajans, I went to the bhajan leader who was there. Then there were two things. One was to know whether I've sung correctly. Second, if I've made some mistake, I wanted to tell him that please don't give me a chance. So the first part was getting addressed. I was speaking to him and asking him, and he told no, nothing was wrong, it was all fine. I was about to open the second thing. There is probably you don't give me a chance because I think Swami is not happy. And immediately I saw a brother who is a very well-known musician in Chennai. He was inside Sundaram. He came running and he asked this person, Anna, who sang Ganesh Bhajan? And I got really petrified at that time. I was like, what I thought that there was something wrong, and here comes a person who asks who sang the Ganesh Bhajan. I told Swami has definitely told something, that something is wrong. And then this bhajan leader asked, okay, you first tell me like what happened. Then he told, no, Anna, Swami told don't open the bhajan when the Ganesh bhajan started. Swami told don't open the door, and Swami was just behind the door. All dignitaries, everybody was there. Swami was listening to the entire bhajan, and then Swami was telling, see how nice the Ganesh bhajan is. Good bhavam, very nice. Pronunciation. Swami was telling very nice bhavam. It was fully in Telugu. So I'm just telling you the gist of what it was. Then Swami told very nice bhavam. See how it is. Swami was telling all the people there. And then after the bhajan, Swami told now open the door. And then Swami came out. So Swami actually, he gave me an entirely different picture of what was. And then probably when I was about to say literally break, then Swami told, Cha, this is not the thing, man. You understand what I was doing, sort of. I mean, he was, this person comes and tells, then he told, this was the person who sang the Ganesh Bhajan. So all these things sort of taught me, like, first, belief in Swami. It is literally you have to surrender to Swami and understand that this is what Swami can do. Another two small episodes which I'll probably tell and then I'll wind up, because I just saw the time now. And the same lines of say discipline, one thing which I'll tell. 2010, when I made a trip to Sabrimala, I was very pertinent that I have to follow the routine, whatever was required for that. Because I didn't want any shortcuts. I felt Swami is making me go there. Yes, I have to follow everything correctly and go. So I followed everything. I reached Sabrimala and I was starting the alight. And when we were going up, when we reached there is a spot where there are queue systems which will be there. Zigzag queues will be there for people who have gone to Sabrimala. You'll know it. The zigzag queues, and then you go to the 18 steps, and then you'll reach the Sanctum Sanctorum. So when I reached this particular zigzag queue spot, we were told to stop, And then once it opened, people started left, right, center jumping lines. They used to just jump on top of this barricade and go. Then I was standing there, and people told me, "Why are you standing? I mean, you just jump and go off. You can save some time." I told, "No, I will not do that, because I mean, for me, my guru has told, follow the discipline strictly, and I don't wave from that path." And I waited, and within few minutes, when actually I would have probably another 5 minutes, I would have actually gone up the 18 steps, and I would have gone to see the Lord. That time Harivarasanam started. I felt dejected. I mean, all the people who violated the rules, who didn't follow discipline, they would have got a darshan. And now, even if I go up, I can't see the Ayyappa's darshan. I wouldn't be able to get it, because it will be closed. After Harivarasanam, they will close the sanctum sanctum. So I just went. I didn't have any darshan, and I just went to the place where all our fellow devotees were there. I just sat there. I didn't move at all for 1 or 2 hours, because I felt sort of cheated. Like I didn't do anything wrong, and still I got that sort of treatment. And then somebody told, we have got say some tokens for some Ganapati Homam which is going to be done. I was like, okay. Then he told, come. So we didn't sleep at all. So 3:30 I was there in one of the entry points, and told them, can you let me in? Then they told, no, we cannot go. But around 4:30, we don't know what happened. Suddenly that person told, come in, go in. We went in, and I entered the main entrance after the 18 steps which will be there, the main entrance. And the people who came with me, I couldn't see them. They went off somewhere else. So I was standing there, and I thought, okay, probably let them come. And the place where I was standing, exactly opposite to me, I can see the Abhishekam happening for Ayyappa, all the puja which is happening, and towards my left I can see the Ganapati Homa which is going on for Ayyappa. I was standing there, I was alone, nobody else was there. I stood there, the entire puja happened, and I kept on looking for these people, where they are. All this happened, the entire puja for almost 1 hour. After this, then I asked people also, like, I mean, am I supposed to be here, or is this the wrong place, or where are those people? They didn't tell me, they just told, no, stay. I stayed. I had a beautiful darshan. I mean, probably one of those darshans which not many would get it. You see the entire Abhishekam for 1 hour, you see a Ganapati home and everything happening in Sabrimala. And then I came out. And then these people were there, and they asked me, where were you? I told, I was there in the same place. They told, I mean, we also came there, but we didn't see anything. I told, I stood there, I could have a darshan. So when I came out, I understood that this is the benefit of following the discipline. Probably if I would have been, I would have strayed. I would have had a darshan of 1 second, and here Lord was giving me a darshan of an hour, which probably will take many visits or many janmas to get. One last experience which I would tell, again, Shirdi Baba. So I didn't know Shirdi Baba, probably except that Shirdi Baba was one Baba who was there in the photo, who would be seated on a stone throne. Nothing beyond that. But through the discourses, I came to know that it's a trinity of avatars, and that was the previous avatar. So in 2015, when my marriage was finalized, so people told we would go to the Shirdi. I told, okay, fine, just another place, but yes, Swami's previous avatar, so I'll come. So we went for darshans, and we landed there exactly at the time when the night arati was starting. So I don't know how the building was. I didn't have any idea of what was going on. So we went in, and some nice soul told me that you keep to your left. You keep to your left, and you can see the arati properly. So I kept to my left. Suddenly somebody pushed, and I went into another area, and I got into a dead end. Just sat. So I thought, okay, fine. I was very hungry. I was having some prasadam. I thought, okay, there is a TV screen. At least I let me have the Aarti Darshan in the TV screen. The TV was not working. Aarti had started. The TV was not working. I was trying to see if somebody can fix it and I can see it. Nothing doing. And all the people who came with me, they were on the other side and they were having a wonderful darshan. I was the only person who was there in that corner. Absolutely no Aarti, nothing. Then when I was coming out, I saw Swami's face, Shirdi Baba's face, and I thought, okay, so the treatment still continues. So it's all nice. I was telling Swami, I mean, for this, I wouldn't have even come here. I would have probably stayed back in Chennai. I wouldn't have even come for a darshan if you were supposed to treat me like this. So the next morning, I had actually got my wedding invitation card. I was supposed to go to Puttaparthi. For some reason, I was not able to travel. Then I thought, ultimately, it's the same avatar. So why not I keep my first wedding card for Shirdi Baba? But after this treatment during Aarti, I was like, okay, anyway, I just came and I'll do it. What big thing is going to happen? So I came. I kept the invitation card in the Samadhi Mandir, and so that person, he called me back, that Pujari who was there. Then he gave me a cover. Then I was like, why is he giving me a cover? I mean, I didn't even give a cover. So why is he giving me? But by the time I could even react, I was told just keep moving. So I just took it and I came out. So when I came out, it had some sweets. So I thought, okay, probably somebody had given some sweets and they just given it to me. But then I found two small packets inside that. Now, a small trivia of what happened before. So when I was coming to Shirdi, I was just thinking, Swami, if you were alive, I could have asked you permission for my marriage. I mean, I didn't get that praptam, and I thought, Swami, in some way you tell me whether this wedding would be the best fit for me or what is going to happen. So when these two packets came to my hand, I just opened. One had haldi, the other one had kumkum. So then I asked the people, did you get any packet like that? Or if you keep a wedding card, do people get these two things? They told absolutely no. Nobody gets any prasadam for keeping a wedding card or anything like that. This is simply that Swami has blessed you for your wedding. And I asked a lot of people and told nobody gets anything like that. It is surely Swami's blessing that he has sort of okayed your wedding and he has blessed you for that. And I didn't know how to react. I mean, that prayer to say Swami was answered in this sort of way. Yeah, so I think I mean, I don't know. Probably if I speak more, I'll become emotional. So the better thing is I stop.
You can't finish without paying gratitude for the bhajan singing. So just let us hear. What did you first sing in front of Swami?
First bhajan which I sang was Radha Krishna Karuna Lola Radhe Govinda Radhe Govinda Murali Govinda Radhe Govinda Murali Govinda Radhe Radhe Govinda Murali Govinda. Incidentally, I think Krishnadas uncle was there when I first sang this bhajan in Brindavan. He was seated in front of me.
Uncle was in the Satsangh until a short while ago. I saw him earlier. What's your favorite bhajan that you experienced?
There is nothing like a favorite as such, but I mean every bhajan becomes a favorite. I mean, as I probably learned over the years, Swami also used to say this. That is, it is not the first time when you sing a bhajan. It is like the 101st time you will be singing. That is, you should have practiced this bhajan in your head so many times. So like that, any bhajan which I take, like anything, any bhajan which I take, I run it in like 100 times in my mind, and I'm like, okay, fine. Should I sing this line? Can I do something like this? But again, within the boundaries you should do. You should not uh, try to add something which can actually mar the bhajan itself. So a lot of them. I
That's
mean, if I say Antar Jyoti, if I can take the example of Antar Jyoti. अंतर ज्योति जलाओ साई ब्रह्म सनातनि दया करो. So initially when I learnt this, it was Antar Jyoti Jalao Sai Brahma Sana. So then I understood that you are actually requesting Swami for something, and you cannot be like Antar Jyoti, go and light the lamp, sort of. You cannot tell in that tone. So the tone has to be different for that bhajan. So I softened certain things, and then I was singing it as Antar Jyoti Jalao Sai Brahma Sanatani Daya करो हे पूर्ण ज्योतिर्मयी दया करो हे पूर्ण ज्योतिर्मयी शिव शक्तिमयी कृपा करो दीन दयामयी पतित पावनी दीन दयामयी पतित पावनी साई जगत जननी दया करो. Yeah.
lovely. There is a request to continue with Antaranga that came as a brief request last week. Would you like to sing Antaranga Sai?
Antaranga Sai अनाथ नाथ साई अंतरंग साई अनाथ नाथ साई दीन बंधु साई करुण सिंधु साई दीन बंधु साई करुण सिंधु साई अंतरंग साई अनाथ नाथ साई राम कृष्ण शिव शक्ति प्रेम रूप साई राम कृष्ण शिव शक्ति प्रेम रूप साई योगावतार बाबा श्री सत्य साई युगावतार बाबा श्री सत्य साई.
One from Bridge Across Time.
Bridge across time. Okay. Probably without taking a minute, I'll tell you a small incident. The second time we went for Bridge across time, I was least prepared. I didn't know what to sing because any bhajan I used to ask people, they used to, that's already there in the list. Somebody has already sung it. So nothing was coming into my mind. And one fine day before, I think on a Friday night, we were supposed to travel, or a Saturday morning. So I landed in Sundaram on a Thursday evening. And there are a lot of bhajans which happened. The only bhajan which I sort of went into my head at that time was Pavana Sutta Hanuman Ki Jai. And that was the first time I was listening to that bhajan, and I have not listened to that bhajan ever after that. That singer has not sung after that, this particular bhajan. And I heard this bhajan, so this kept on going in my mind. So then I just thought about this bhajan, okay, these are lines. But again, I forgot even the tune. That next morning I forgot the tune. I kept on thinking like, okay, what was the tune? Then the next morning, suddenly again I remembered, okay, this is the tune. Then I started thinking, okay, fine, this is the tune, and probably next time when I get a chance in Sundaram, I should probably ask to sing this bhajan. And then we traveled to Bangalore. So those days the recording used to happen in Bangalore. For 2 days, we were supposed to be for 2 days. The entire first day, I was sitting in the room and simply following the bhajan. They didn't even ask me whether I'm singing a bhajan in the CD. Then around the first half of the second day also got over. Then they asked, "Aren't you singing?" And that was like, then why have you called me to come here to Bangalore? So and I told, I mean, I think you told me that I can sing a bhajan. Then they asked me, what bhajan? And now the problem was blank. There was no bhajan which was coming into my head, and they told me, can you sing Hanuman? And now I was like, okay, Hanuman. Okay, then I'll sing Pavana Sutta. I told, which is this bhajan? I mean, we have not heard this bhajan. So I sang this bhajan, and immediately they told, come record. So within a few seconds, these things were happening. And we were supposed to do re-recording. Re-recording, what they used to do was they used to put a track, they used to sing the track. After the music is over, you have to re-record your voice and then get the CD done. Now the problem was we hardly have another few minutes to board the train. So they told me we cannot do the re-recording. Either you come back later. Then what happened was we came back to Chennai and there was a flood situation in Chennai. So I was not able to go out, and we found a particular studio here and we recorded the bhajan. I mean, I would have actually even sung the lead as well as follow also for that bhajan. And then I realized that probably I didn't sing this bhajan ever after that CD got released, nor I've heard anybody singing this bhajan anywhere in Sundaram or probably in the vicinity. So probably Swami wanted me to sing this bhajan. That's why he gave me only that particular bhajan into my head. No other bhajan was flashing in my head at that time. So that is Pavana Sutta Hanumani ki jai. Probably I'll sing few lines. Pavana Sutta Hanuman ki jai. Pavana Sutta Hanuman ki jai. Siyapati Ramachandra ki jai. सियापति रामचंद्र की जय. पवन सुत हनुमान की जय. पराक्रम आंजनेय की जय. पराक्रम आंजनेय की जय. परतीपुरी साईनाथ की जय. परतीपुरी साईनाथ की जय. पवन सुत हनुमान की जय.
Can't thank you enough. Beautiful. Most of your experiences are very close to many who come into his fold, and as you rightly said, we are selected to come into his fold by virtue of the bank balance that we are born with. We try to get the bank balance increased through contemplation and following his message, such that when time comes for the bank balance to be filled, there are people who will pray for us. I think Swami has beautifully said that when someone prays for you, then you know that you have done that act which deserves you to be prayed for. We're absolutely blessed to hear these moments with Sai, which gave you your lessons. And I think these are universal lessons for one and all. So I can't thank Swami enough for bringing each of his gem every week without fail. I have to thank Brother Venkatesh here on behalf of all of us listening live, and the many who listen to it once the recording goes online after the satsang. And we are finishing 99 weeks in a row. We're waiting to see who the 100th speaker for next week is. Swami knows. When he decides and lets me know, I shall send you that invite. Do join next Sunday, same time, on the Sai Govind Satsangh, where through the listening of these life lessons from Swami to his gems, we connect the dots in our life and realize the beautiful picture in front of us is that embodiment of love who has been there in our life before we came, during our lifetime, will be there beyond our life, the eternal Sai. Sai Ram, we shall finish off with Samastaloka. Samastaloka Sukino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय।